guys, Mac with the Outer Circle. Today we're going to be looking at Horus Heresy Book 9. It has finally arrived. I do apologise for any background noise you might hear. We do have winter storms, even though we're technically out of winter here in Ballarat. I've also got the Lion himself, but that's for another time. Today we're going to just quickly review the book, look at the Dark Angels rules and what I think of them. We'll talk about Night Lords another time. I'm going to do new Getting Started in Horus Heresy videos for both the Dark Angels and the Night Lords. And of course we're going to review the book itself. Now, first things first, forgive the noise to the camera, but we're going to go for a little trip. So we're going to grab our book 9 and we're going to go into the main living area of my house. So on this shelf here is my Horus Heresy collection. And I know it's a bit dark, I apologise, the lights are dimmed down in this room. But that is the collection, and as you can see, even next to the last book, Book 8, Malevolence, that is quite the significant size difference. So straight away, hugely disappointing. It is what it is, of course. It will factor into the review later on, but for the moment, we won't talk about it. I'll just grab out book 2 as well. Wander back. The old kitchen table. It's going to be replaced by a new kitchen table soon. The wife's trying to watch The Bachelor in the next room over. Huge priorities. So, book 9. Is it any good? Well, yes, it is good. It's good from a fluff perspective. It's quite enjoyable. I've only quickly read through the book so far. I haven't hugely digested everything in it yet. But the background to the Night Lords, Legion that they've expanded upon, the Dark Angels, the Terminator Crusade, it's all pretty reasonable stuff. There are some interesting quirks in the book. First of all, if I open this, we'll go page 51. On page 51, we have this nice full colour image, and I'll even zoom right in on it so everyone can see nicely. And in this full colour image, we have a Night Lords Leviathan Dreadnought, the exact one off the Forge World webpage, fighting the Dark Angels Praetor directly off their webpage. Do forgive me, I've just finished work as well when I'm recording this. And the art style features heavily these edge highlights and such. It doesn't look like the models are really there. Now, I'd like to contrast this. We'll go book 2. I'll just flick through it till I find a page that suits my needs. Something like, hey, this is perfect. These models on this page, they don't look like models. They look like a shot of actual, tanks, actual dreadnoughts, that kind of thing. I'll zoom out so you get the full view of the page. That looks like an actual drop site massacre is happening. There's dreadcores and drop pods falling from the sky. We've got the Thunderhawks zooming around. You've got the Felglaive, Dreadnought, Fellblade, all that cool stuff. Now again, contrast that art with this art. The flyers up the top of the image, which, again, sorry, but I have to keep zooming in. Oh, don't play games with me, camera. Okay. The flyers on the top of the image look like they're just painted in. They don't look like the actual models. And the models we do have, they look exactly like models. They don't have any of that scale because of this strong edge highlighting and such. Is it a major issue? No, not at all. I just want to stress that, and it doesn't downgrade my rating of the book. but it's something worth pointing out how that art style in the background of these images has actually changed over time. And I think that's important to note. Then of course we'll go up to the Night Lord's Legion section. And of course we've got some lovely artwork in this section of the book, where we have Night Lord's characters, well, individual characters. This is why I grabbed book 2, by the way, because what I can do is grab book 2. Apologies for bumping the camera. This is very hard to do the way I've decided to shoot it, which is on me for stupidity. But we can compare and contrast the Night Lords from here with the Night Lords in the new book, which is pretty neat. And stylistically, they're pretty different. We have these deep cobalts over here, very dark blues, whereas over here we have very bright, almost ultramarine levels of blue. Again, doesn't downgrade my opinion of the book, but it's an interesting point to note with the artwork. If we go to the vehicles, so we've got a Land Raider here. I'll bring up a Land Raider in the other book as well, if I can. Alright, it'll be a Spartan. So, same thing again. Bright blue, dark blue. Bright blue, dark blue. What else have we got? Oh, we've got the obligatory Super Heavy. I don't know if the other book does have the obligatory Super Heavy. We've definitely got some Rhino chassis variants. Dreadnoughts. We've got this Terror Squad boy here. Well, we do have some stuff like him in the previous book. In fact, we have quite a few to pick from. However, they're all in 1/4 images. But yeah, same problem, completely different color palette. I much prefer this color palette to this color palette, just for those who are wondering. The much more diluted colors, I think, work better for the Legion, as opposed to these really strong ones. I mean, this guy here, by the way, is very strong, but that's because he's got these two large sections of lightning on him, which really brighten him up, whereas if I take them out of the equation, you can see the color palette difference. So, something worth noting from the previous book to this one. Also, the iconography in the previous book was a bit different as well to what we've got here. So, it's good to see even dreadnoughts. We can contrast dreadnoughts to one another. So, there's almost like a slightly purple tinge to this guy on the left versus the chap on the right, who, again, I think he's starting to verge towards ultramarines in colour. So let's put book 2 aside. Let's go talk about some Dark Angels Legion rules. So right down the back here, I won't show off all the Dark Angels units themselves and their entries, but down here we've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages of rules and rights of war before we get to the units, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the line should give us 10, 11 pages of units. That's a lot to take in one book. That's, I think, as many, if not more, in fact it is more, than the Thousand Suns. Part of this has to do with the fact they've given each of the Dark Angels wings their own right of war, which bloats the book out heavily. As for the Legion's basic rules, we've still got Legiones Astartes. I'll zoom right in again so you can actually read along with me. We have the Legiones Astartes, so units of the special rule may always attempt to regroup at their normal leadership value, regardless of casualties. Mastery of the Blade, which is that half point of weapon skill essentially. You can hit opponents who have the same weapon skill as you on a 3, provided you have a sword for your weapon. Scions of the Hexagamaton, so this is new. Eligible models with the Legiones Astartes Dark Angels special rule may select additional options from both the Scions of the Hexagamaton and the Scions of the Hectonistica. Hectonistica? Something like that. I'm going to call it the Tony sticker. Because Hecatonistica? I don't know. In Violet and Alone, models of Legiones Astartes Dark Angel special rule may never benefit from the leadership characteristic or any leadership related bonus or special rule from any model which does not also have the Dark Angels, Legiones Astartes, or Sire of the Dark Angels special rules. Which means if you play allied detachments, you won't be getting leadership 10 off allied characters and such. Not a huge deal. So, moving over for War Gear. War Gear, we have any character with the model with the Legiones Astartes Dark Angels who has access to a power sword may instead take a Calibanite Warblade for plus 10 points instead, or exchange their power sword that is part of their base equipment for a Calibanite Warblade for free. So, Calibanite Warblade is power sword with plus 1 strength, which, it's something. Something is better than nothing. You have any model with the Legiones Astartes Dark Angel special rule with access to a plasma gun or twin-linked plasma gun as part of their war gear may instead take a plasma repeater for plus 20 points or a plasma burner for plus 15 points. In the case of units with multiple plasma guns, all such weapons in the same unit must be upgraded to the same weapon if either option is chosen. So that's better than it was, because at least bikes, Outriders specifically, could take these now as they have access to twin-linked plasma guns. Otherwise, it will mostly be plasma tactical support squads, veteran squads with plasma guns, perhaps Seekers, Legion Seekers. The plasma repeater is range 12, strength 6, AP 2, gets hot, salvo 2/3, and twin-linked. Which means at salvo 2/3, you don't want it on tactical support squads. It's just not any good. I'll put it into frame as well while I talk about it. And the plasma burner is range 12 inches, strength 4, which is not as good, AP 2, but it's assault D3 plus 1, so average of 3 shots. Ignores cover, plasma, and the plasma flame means when you make an Overwatch attack, any failed rolls to hit may be rerolled, which is something. It's something. It's nothing to write home about. So, plasma repeater, plasma burner, I think the plasma repeater is very, very situational. On bikes in rapid fire range, it is slightly better, but on bikes outside of rapid fire range, it will do absolutely 0, whereas at least plasma guns will do something. And you are paying 20 points for it. I think you'd be better on bikes to go for the plasma burner. Yes, it's a slightly lower strength, but the additional shots makes up for the small squad size on the bikes. That's just my thinking. Actual gameplay will possibly bear out differently. Another option we have up here is any Praetor, Centurion, or Consul with the Legiones Astartes Dark Angel special rule with access to a Power Fist as part of their war gear may instead take a Tyrannic Greatsword for 15 points. 15 points is probably about right. It's 10 points for most power weapons, so 15 points is probably fair considering it does have instant death, it's plus 2 strength, and it's AP 3, and it's an initiative. The next is special issue ammunition. Stasis shells may be taken on models of the Legiones Astartes Dark Angel special rule equipped with a grenade launcher, twin-link grenade launcher, or missile launcher as an additional ammunition type for plus 5 points per model. So all models in a unit hit by one or more weapons with this special rule may reduce their initiative to 1, or must reduce their initiative to 1, till the end of the game turn. I could see that stacking very nasty with some abilities. Anything that lowers initiative or tests off initiative, forces units to take initiative checks, such as blind. I think the Navigator has an ability he can cast, which you initiative check against. I have to double check. All of that will go very badly for people. So kind of OP if someone stacks the deck in their favour. but not AP, not OP just for existing, OP in certain circumstances. Next, special issue ammunition. Molecular acid shells when we take on models, the Legionaries of Astartes, Dark Angels, and any Dreadnought of any type, in Dark Angels attachment with heavy bolter or twin heavy bolters as an additional ammunition type for plus 5 points per model. And it's been heavily nerfed from its roll up an AP value, and that's what it is, to normal heavy bolter stats, so range 36, strength 5, AP 4, but it's now Fleshbane and heavy 3. So it will wound everything on 2s. And okay, it's not going to instant kill Terminators and Custodians and stuff like that anymore, which was blatantly broken before because it made an auto include, and I'm on record as saying auto includes are generally a bad thing for game balance because it means it's too good to not take, or it's something that should be in your basic war gear to begin with. Well, now it is something you actually have to think about, do I take it or not? And frankly, against anything but Death Guard, it's probably still worth it. I wouldn't say take it on everything, it's not god tier anymore and completely broken. But say you play anything with high toughness, Demons of the Ruin Storm, maybe Soul Auxilia Charonite Ogrins are a great one. Demons of the Ruin Storm especially. Yeah, it will wound Custodes on 2s. Yeah, they'll get a save against it still, they're normal 2-up saves, but you're wounding them on 2s instead of 4s. That's kind of a big deal. Where it's going to show the least amount of benefit is against other legions. And who cares? You know? Against Solar Auxilia, okay, the basic infantry, it's not going to have much effect on because you'd be winning them on 2s anyway. Same with Militia. But there are other circumstances. There are Militia who can go up to toughness 4. As I said, there are Ogrins and Charonite Ogrins. You're talking toughness 5 and 6 units out there. Mechanicum has a lot of monstrous creatures, and Castellax, for instance, only have 3+ saves. So throwing it at them will make a dent. So whilst not completely overpowered and broken anymore, it's still, yes, worth it, I think. Alright, the Hexagamaton. So this is a funny one. The Scions of the Hexagamaton. So, membership in one of the 6 wings of the Hexagamaton has a mark of skill and worth within the ranks of the Dark Angels, yada yada yada. I'm not going to read through all of it, it's just fluff. Boils down to any character subtype or independent character may take a single option from the following for plus 25 points. So yes, you could give the 2 squad sergeants, however, 25 points, that's a lot of points. That's many more points than a power weapon or a power fist. So the benefits would be pretty good, I'm imagining. And do keep in mind, I'm reading this for the first time, these rules with you. I've only read through the fluff to get to this point. So, Scion of the Stormwing. A model with this special rule, and all models in the unit with the Legionaries of Astartes Dark Angel special rule, or a unit is joined, make snapshots of ballistic skill 2. Possibly good on Legion heavy support squads trying to shoot down flyers. If you're using las cannons and you don't have flak missiles, maybe. For Overwatch, it's going to be useless on units with flamers. About the only thing it'll be good on is units with plasma repeaters off the top of my head, because they're getting a reroll to hit. So reroll to hit on ballistic skill 2 is not terrible, but I don't think that for just snapshots being slightly better, 25 points is worth it. So next, Scion of the Deathwing. A model with this special rule may reroll the first fail to hit of any phase while engaged in a challenge. Not bad, but it involves you being in a challenge, which is a dangerous place to be, so you'd be very careful who you put this on. Beefed out Praetors who are going to be in challenges, yeah, it'd probably be okay. Depends who you're fighting. You go up and fight Khan the Betrayer, buy just buy regardless to your character, he's probably dead. A lot of units will not have people to challenge in them, so say you have Scion of the Deathwing on a consul of some type, perhaps a Delegatus, and he's got a Tyrannic Greatsword, and he's there for chopping down things like Castellax. Well, there's no one to challenge in that unit, so it's wasting that 25 points. I mean, 25 points, that's a lot of points. That's half a consul. just 6 characters in your army with this, and that's an entire tactical squad right there. Moderate value, we'll say. Sign of the Dreadwing. An infantry model with this special rule, and any infantry unit joins with the Legiones Astartes Dark Angel special rule may choose to move 4 inches through difficult terrain rather than rolling any dice, and may reroll failed dangerous terrain tests. For some armies and some rights of war, that's absolutely free. I can't think of many units that would be really handy on off the top of my head. Rerolling failed dangerous terrain is very situational, and again, certain armies like say White Scars, Chagorian Brotherhood will just have that built in, so not an issue for them. I'd say again, moderate to minimal value based on how you actually equip your army. Sign of the Iron Wing. When rolling on the vehicle damage table, a unit with the Legiones Astartes Dark Angel special rule that includes at least 1 model with this special rule counts all results of crew shaken as crew stunned instead. On the surface, it sounds great until you remember that extra armor is like candy in 30k. Again, lots of rights of war given for free to every vehicle in the army. The Iron Warriors is one that does that, for instance. Most vehicles that are worth keeping alive, Land Raiders and such, usually come with extra armor for free. So, pretty damn situational. I don't know, maybe on a Legion Heavy Support Squad, again on the Squad Sergeant, could be handy for sniping enemy vehicles. It's going to make them slightly better. Next, Sign of the Fire Wing. A model with this special rule, and any models in a unit with the Legiones Astartes Dark Angel special rule that is joined or is part of gains the Hatred character special rule. It's pretty good. That one I'm going to call good. It would be a waste to buy it on a chaplain or a unit that's going to be attached to a chaplain, but on many other units, I mean, Hatred is probably going to be better for you on a lot of your characters than Sign of the Deathwing. The first fail to hit roll of a phase is, it's neither here nor there. But gaining Hatred means rerolling a whole bunch of dice. That is so much better. Yeah, I'd take the Hatred, thank you. It makes Sign of the Deathwing pointless. Because it says Hatred characters, and characters will be the only people you can challenge anyway. So Sign of the Firewing makes Sign of the Deathwing redundant. So, stupid rules writing right there. You've just written one that's way better than the other. The only reason you would take it is if you're forced to, which I'm imagining the Rights of War are exactly going to do that, if it's anything like the way Thousand Suns work. Lastly, Sign of the Raven Wing. A model with this special rule and any models in a unit with the Legiones Astartes Dark Angel special rule that is joined or is part of may reroll any run, fallback, or thrust distances. Well, Raven Wing is a bike list. Bikes turbo boosts. They gain 0 benefit from running. They're going to fall back a shitload anyway. I prefer an increase to your roll on your initiative test. And thrust is going to affect very few vehicles, so kind of pointless. We'll call that a less useful rule. So pretty much only one really good one there, Sign of the Firewing, which makes Deathwing completely redundant, and the rest are pretty mediocre. I'd say only Sign of the Firewing is worth for 25 points, everything else can go burn in a fucking shit pit. There is a designer's note written here. These rules are intended to reinforce the diverse and distributed nature of the Dark Angel's command structure, a system unique to the First Legion. However, just as on the grim battlefield of the Horus Heresy, this system can cause some confusion on the gaming table, especially in armies that choose to take advantage of options available. As such, it's intended that the wing or order allegiance be shown on a given model in the form of painted insignia or decal that clearly indicates which models will gain bonuses. WYSIWYG. WYSIWYG. That's what it's saying. Alright, next page. Signs of the Tony Sticker. Any model with the independent character special rule may take a single option from the following for plus 25 points. So this is going to be HQ exclusive because it's independent characters. Augurs of Weakness. When making an armor penetration rolling to target armor 11 or more on the facing targeted, a model with this special rule may add +1 to the strength of the weapon used to make the attack. that could be pretty strong on a unit which has Furious Charge. A character with Furious Charge, something like a Power Fist or a Thunder Hammer, will be looking at Strength 10 attacks. That could be devastating, especially if they have something like a Chain Fist. Yeah, that could do a lot of damage, but again, very situational. It involves you tackling tanks. And if you're tackling tanks, why don't you have Melter Bombs? If you're fighting a Dreadnought, why did you put your character in that situation where he has to fight a Dreadnought in the first place? There's a reason Melter Guns and Las Cannons are invented. Alright, Icons of Resolve. This model gains +1 attacks on any turn in which it or the unit is a part of is charged by one or more enemy units. So kind of a weaker version of counterattack. It's not the worst. 25 points on independent character, maybe. Guardian of Sanctity. When making a Deny the Witch roll for a unit which includes this model, roll an additional d6 and discard the lower results before determining if the roll succeeds or fails. Probably good on a Librarian. Can't think of much else, but no one's taking Librarians because they suck. So that won't be a problem. Slayer of Kings. This model may reroll failed to hit rolls for 1 when engaged in close combat or in a challenge with any model with a weapon skill of 5 or higher. You see, just to pause for a moment, this isn't decided when you start the game, this is decided when you build the list. What happens if you don't go up against, say, a Psyker? That's kind of crap. Alright. So back to Slayer of Kings. The rerolling ones when engaged in combat or in a challenge with models of weapon skill 5 or higher could be handy fighting, say, Elite Legion Terminators, so using your Legion Elite Terminators against them or characters. But then it makes you wonder why something like the Hatred provided by Scion of the Firewing or Scion of the Deathwing is being taken, because frankly there's a lot of overlap there. One's allowing you Hatred characters who you're fighting anyway. The other is just rerolling ones to hit. There's a lot of rerolling of ones and rerolling to hits here. What about rerolling to wound? Okay, we want more rerolling to wound. It's constant reroll to hits. So next one down, Hunter of Beast. This model may reroll failed to wound roll. Oh, there we go. Of a 1 when engaged in combat with any model with a toughness of 5. Oh, great. Or all failed to wound rolls if the target is toughness 6 or higher. So, yeah, okay. Finally, we got one which is reroll to wound, but it's against toughness 5, which is what? Black Shields, Mechanicum, Demons, Custodes. Custodes you're rarely going to fight as Dark Angels at any narrative event, unless you're somehow traded Dark Angels. So anyone led by Lionel Johnson. Or perhaps if you're maybe Gel Vorback, the Word Bearers. That's one. Yeah, kind of situational. Where I think Hunter of Beasts will really kick in is fighting Mechanicum. If you're fighting Mechanicum units and you've got Tyrannic Greatswords, so Strength +2, AP3, instant death. Plus you'll get the additional half-point weapon skill because it's a sword weapon. Yeah, throw that on the Elite Terminators, the Inner Circle Knight Cenobium, Hellraiser and the Cenobites, or Pinhead and the Cenobites. Yeah, throw that on them. Give that to one of their characters, so when you walk into a unit of Castellax, Stellax, Thanatar, Domitar, whatever, they just all get fucking tabled. I'm sure you'll make a heap of friends. Reaper of Hosts. This model gains +1 attack in any fight subphase which they began in base contact with more than one enemy model. Situational. So all these ones here are all about close combat. Breakers of Witches. This model may reroll all to hit to wound rolls in close combat when attacking an enemy unit affected by Blessing, Psychic Power, or an enemy unit with either the Psyker or Brotherhood of Psykers, Sorcerers, Psychic Pilot, Demon, Ruin Store special rule. Okay, That's pretty OP. If you could take multiples of these and stack them together, yeah, that could be... Demons get plus, what is it? To hit into wound rolls in close combat against... So if you fight demons with this, that's broken. So, how come everything you train to fight harder and you can just kick the dick off psychers, but psychers spend their whole life mastering psychic powers, and you roll a fucking double 6 and your psyker blows his own head off? What is it with these rules writers? I am going to save the Rights of War for their own Rights of War video. The units we should already be familiar with, the Inner Circle Knight Cenobium, they've been covered on the channel before. So let's look at the Deathwing Companion Detachment, who we've not covered before. The Deathwing Companion Detachment, 150 points, which is not that expensive. 5 models. The Sergeant has 2 wounds. They're all weapon skill 5. They've all got 2 attacks. They're only weapon skill 9 on the leadership 9 on the Sergeant. So surprising. Okay, they've all got Artificer armor. They all come with either a Tyrannic Greatsword or a Calibanite Warblade. That's good. The Tyrannic Greatsword, though, is worth more points than a Calibanite Warblade, so why is it one or the other as a free choice? Shouldn't it be you come with a Calibanite Warblade and you can upgrade to a Tyrannic Greatsword? Just saying, it's 5 points more than a power weapon. A Calibanite Warblade is a free replacement for a power weapon. Special rules. Yep, they're Dark Angels. They're all chosen warriors, so may issue and accept challenges. They're Scions of the Deathwing, so that's going to reflect back here. Deathsworn Companions, Deathwing Retinue. So, Deathwing Retinue, special rule. Deathwing Companion Detachment will only be chosen as a retinue for a Legion Praetor with the Legiones Astartes Dark Angels, or Legion Special Character with the Warlord and Legiones Astartes Dark Angels special rules, and may not be taken as part of an army on their own. They take up a single force or chart slot with the Dark Angels Praetor, and must be deployed with the Praetor of the detachment for which they are bought. Once deployed, the Legion Praetor or Legion Special Character may not voluntarily leave the Deathwing Companion Detachment. So it's a Legion Praetor, so it can't be with another Master of the Legion. Just reading that means you couldn't take these with the Lion, because he's not a Legion Praetor. It very specifically says a retinue for a Legion Praetor. Huh. Well, he could have his own entry. I haven't looked at all the Lion's rules yet. I'll save that for its own day, I think. But that's worth noting. Lion can't take a command squad of Deathwing. Alright. So the point with the character. We'll leave the shield till later. They may take a Rhino or a Land Raider Proteus as a dedicated transport. Okay, that's fine. Up to 5 additional Deathwing Companions for plus 30 points each. If you have 5 of them, that's going to take your command squad up to 10 models, plus the HQ will be 11. That means you won't fit in either of your vehicles, the Rhino or the Land Raider. Why is the Spartan not an option for a full-size unit then? Anyone? Anyone at all? I mean, sure, you could take the Land Raider Proteus as a free Land Raider, I suppose, that doesn't take up a heavy support slot. But these guys will still be foot slogging it. So then what, you're going to go and buy a Spartan, which is going to use that heavy slot up anyway? Okay, whatever. They may take Melter Bombs on the whole unit for 25 points, so worth it more on a full squad. Up to 5 additional Deathwing Companions. Yeah, we cover that. 30 points each is not bad. It's pretty good value for what you're getting. Artificer armor, extra attack. So basically getting a squad sergeant with weapon skill 5, but lower leadership, but in Artificer armor with special weapons built in for 30 points. That's great. The weapon and a stock tactical marine is 30 points, so you're getting a lot more over that. Any model may exchange their Tyrannic Greatsword or Carbonite Warblade for a Power Fist for 5 points. Situationally, okay. They do need AP2 attacks. Any model in the unit may exchange their Bolter for one of the following: a combi weapon, plus 10 points, Plasma Pistol, Scytheron, Pattern Aegis. I'd say take 2 combi weapon, combi grenade launchers to get those stasis grenades. Would probably be a smart idea. If the Dark Angels Legion Praetor, which is part of the Deathwing Companion Detachment Force All chart choice, has a jump pack, then they may also take jump packs for 15 points per model. But if this option is taken, then the squad may no longer select a dedicated transport. Every member of the squad must be so upgraded. Common sense, really. Okay, so you can go to Terminator Armor. If the Dark Angels Legion Praetor, which is part of this detachment, has Terminator Armor, the squad may exchange. So you don't have to. They may exchange their war gear for a set of Terminator Armor of the same type. So if he's in Cataphracti, did they have to take Cataphracti, or is it saying that all squad members must be in Cataphracti? You can't have, say, 5 guys in Tartarus, 5 in Cataphracti. Just a bit of a weird wording there. If he has Terminator Armor of any type, the squad may exchange their war gear for a set of Terminator Armor of the same type. So it must be the same as him, it seems. If the squad is upgraded with Terminator Armor, then every member of the squad must be upgraded in the same way and has access to the following options rather than those shown previously. So you couldn't have like a Tartarus character and Cataphracti companions, or a Cataphracti character and Tartarus companions. They would all have to be one or the other. The Deathwing Terminator companions must all be equipped with one of the following: Terminator Armor of any variety, Combi Bolter, and Carbonite Warblade. So you lose the Tyrannic Greatsword, so that's kind of a downgrade. 15 points. Not terrible. Any model may exchange their Combi Bolter for one of the following: Combi Plasma or Combi Melter, Combi Grenade Launcher. For 12 points is a bit steep. They're good, but geez, they're not that much better. They're not worth twice what a Combi Plasma is. Jesus. Any model may upgrade their Carbonite Warblade for one of the following: Tyrannic Greatsword for free. Okay, so they can still do. Okay. Weird wording. So instead of them keeping the original war gear but changing their bolter to a combi bolter, they've worded a very long, confusing way. Not confusing, needlessly convoluted. A Power Fist for plus 5 points, or a Thunderhammer for free. Why would you not just take the Thunderhammer? They do the same thing, but the Thunderhammer can stun units. The Power Fist is... Why is it 5 points? That's ridiculous. Who would think that's a good idea? No, don't do that, guys. Don't take the Power Fist. Take the Thunderhammer. On a full-size squad, that's 50 points you'll save for better stat line. You may exchange your Combi Bolter and Carbonite Warblade for Twin Lightning Cores for free. That's good. That's much better than a Carbonite Warblade. The Deathwing Oathbearer may take a Grenade Harness. Oh great, take that. You don't even need to take Combi Grenade Launchers, which are 12 points each. Deathwing Terminator Companion Detachment numbering 5 models or fewer may take a Land Raider Proteus's dedicated transport and may not take a Rhino. Yeah, but if you're 5 models plus character, that counts as a minimum of 12 models, because Terminators are bulky, so therefore you can't fit in your Land Raider. Learn to write rules if you're going to professionally sell books, Forge World. Fuck me. Alright. Deathwing Retinue. Now we want the Scytherion Power Aegis. So it's a shield. It's an invulnerable save of 5+ against melee, 4+ against shooting attacks. It can be deployed. The controlling player may choose to deploy the Scytherion Pattern Aegis at the end of their own movement phase. The unit must be deployed on the table and not be embarked upon a transport vehicle of any kind. As long as at least 2 models in the unit are equipped with a Scytherion Pattern Aegis, While deployed, the entire unit gains a 4+ invulnerable save against shooting attacks and a 5+ invulnerable against melee attacks, and any model engaging the unit in an assault have their initiative reduced by -1. Remind me what happens if you've hit them with grenades first. If you've hit them with stasis grenades and they assault you, you're taking them to initiative 0. What happens at initiative 0? I'm pretty sure rules as written says if any of your stats become 0 in the game, then you're removed from play. I'd have to double check on it, but I'm pretty sure that's as written in the rulebook. If any of your stat line reaches a 0. Yeah. Any model engaging with the unit in assault have initiative reduced by -1. The controller player may choose to end the deployment at the start of any of their own movement phases, or if the number of Scytherion Pattern Aegis equipped models in the unit drops below 2, the effect immediately ends. And Deathsworn Companions. Any model of the lead unit with the independent character special rule that joins the unit with the Deathsworn Companion special rule cannot be targeted by use of any precision shots, precision strikes. Deathwing Companions and Deathwing Oathbearers automatically pass Lookout Sir tests when they are called upon to take them. So, review. The campaign seems okay. I haven't picked through it with a fine-tooth comb yet. The fluff is pretty good, actually. I'd say it's on par with pretty much any of the other black books that's been released so far in Horus Heresy. The artwork has definitely slid. As I showed, the colours are completely different to the existing colour palette. That's not going to affect the rating, but it is something worth noting, as I did before. That's something important. The Dark Angel stuff looks nice. The Night Lord stuff does look nice. The Thramas Crusade itself is interesting enough. I think overall, it's a pretty good book. Does it deserve the hate it's getting on some forums? Probably not. So far from what I've read, keep in mind I haven't comprehensively looked at anything yet because I've only had it for a couple of hours at the point of recording. But the Dark Angels rules to me seem alright, with a few really poorly worded things thrown in there, like stasis grenades and the -1 and the units struggling into vehicles. The Scions of the Hexagamaton and the Tony stickers are not great rules, the majority of them. Pretty much there's 2 or 3 that are worth taking, and everything else is a waste of 25 points, which to me seems like bad rules writing. Especially if something is like a must include or an auto take on units. That's when I start again, like with the old acid bolters, start saying, well, hang on, it should be auto included for a fixed price, or you need to look at why it and it alone is an auto include compared to the other special rules, because you've not written balanced rules. So those are big detriments to this book so far. The artwork's fine. I think the biggest letdown for me is this width. Even compared to book 2, which is not the biggest of the books. That's a big difference, and this book is a lot more expensive than this book. And is not worth it, frankly, for that much extra expense over the previous books. I'm not going to give a rating out of 10 or anything like that, that's just silly. The merits of the book are good fluff, the normal reliable campaign. You do get rules for the Lion, for representing the Thramas Crusade, for representing Night Lords and Dark Angels on the tabletop. Yes, yes, and yes. You get rules to all these things, so it functionally does its job. There are some problems, however, some major flaws with the book, with the rules writing. It reeks to me of something that, especially for something that's been in development for so long, and again, these so thin, that it couldn't have had these things picked up in playtesting is pathetic to me. It should not be coming to me, and I shouldn't be opening this book on day one and going, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's crap, that's crap. That shouldn't be a thing. I would say this needs to be FAQ'd immediately. This is not the first time I've said this. I think the same thing applies to
Is it worth it?
Inferno. Frankly, it's not. These things should have been fixed prior to it printing. I paid a lot of money for this book. I was able to buy it from the UK, along with the Lion himself, which means I saved a bit of money over Australian retail price. But still, the amount of money I paid more money for 100 pages less than other books. Why? Shouldn't that not be a third cheaper? Just going off the amount of material, especially considering that this is a rehash of rules already written for Night Lords and for Dark Angels. The only thing they've added is additional rights of war for both legions, a couple of extra special units or one special unit for the Night Lords, special units for the Dark Angels and the Lion. That's to be fair, they've added stuff, but most of the groundwork, the framework for it, is already there. It was there prior to Book 8. It just didn't make the cut for Book 8 for whatever reason. At 100 pages less than previous books, this should have had Dark Mechanicum or more Night Households, some more Titan Legion rules, anything really. Additional information on the, perhaps, Agents of the Sigilite. Could have added Assassins into the book. There's lots of stuff they could have done. They chose not to. I think out of complacency. I'll be honest. The big pros for the book are, yep, same fluff, same good artwork. That's true. The problem is I've got to fish for things here. You hear me saying a lot. They've managed to make a fleshed out book which has a lot of information on the Dark Angels and the Night Lords. There you go. There's a big positive for you, and we'll end it on that note. Disappointing book, to be sure. Probably the worst book in the series. And it doesn't come down to the fluff, it doesn't come down to the campaign or the artwork, it comes down to, in short part, the rules writing, which for the amount of time in development and the amount of content that's actually covered should have been a lot better picked up on. So that's a big down point. And also the fact that it's so much smaller, the space was not used efficiently because of that they could have added a lot more to it and fleshed it out to the size of another book with the appropriate price point to suit. The fact that they didn't do that means this is the worst Horus Heresy book so far. And that pains me to say because it could have been a really good book and it was right on the cusp. In fact, I might complain about page length if they got the rules a bit better sorted out. Again, I haven't even covered everything yet. I do know from some light reading there are some more questionable things, but as it stands, very mediocre. Make it the outer circle. See you all next time.